how do I improve sleep? So sleep is a necessary benefit of being a human. We don't really know why we sleep. We just know that it is important to give your brain time to clean out all of the excess garbage that's in your brain. So, like literally, there are brain cells that literally go and clean out areas of your brain and then dispose of them in other ways. It's restorative, restorative. I don't know which way you say that. Say it how you feel. Potato, potato. But it truly restores things. It helps you solidify memories. It helps you solidify learning points from the day. It's the time when different hormones are released so that you can grow appropriately. And it helps with creativity. So sleep is like super important, and you spend a third of your life doing it. So, why not make it really good? And so there's a whole thing about sleep hygiene. So if you literally just type in sleep hygiene into any search engine, you'll get all the advice that you need. So I'm not going to go through any of the sleep hygiene things. I'm going to talk more about the ones that you might not think about. And so one that came up recently was lots of people snore, and snoring can happen for lots of different reasons, including allergies. And so if you snore, it may be worth talking to an ENT or whoever your PCP is. ENT stands for oh Lord, ear, nose, and throat doctor, otolaryngologists, and they can help you figure out if there's like nasal polyps, so these little fleshy bags of flesh in your nose that will flop around and close things off where you can't breathe, and they can be very problematic. And so if you snore, that could be an issue. Another issue could be sleep apnea. So there's something called obstructive sleep apnea, where the back of your throat, which is all that soft, fleshy stuff, when you lay back, it'll kind of fall in on itself, and it can occlude your airway, meaning it can block your airway. And one of the things that happens when you're sleeping and you're going and your airway is blocked, your brain goes, you're not breathing, and it shoots out an electrical signal through your body to move your diaphragm so that you go right, and it'll wake you up so that you can breathe. And most times it's a kind of a subconscious waking up. You don't wake fully up, but it wakes you up just enough to disrupt your restorative patterns. And so you'll go back to sleep, but then that cycle repeats itself again and again and again and again throughout the night. And some people will even have apnea of, I want to say, don't quote me, but I want to say it's 20 seconds without breathing is the technical definition. And they just won't breathe for 20 seconds. And then they'll kind of wake themselves up and they keep going. And so treating your sleep apnea, if it's from obstruction, if it's from allergies, another thing that can do that is reflux. So, which is heartburn when stomach acids go from your stomach back up into your esophagus. That can also cause all sorts of issues because your body does not like to have stomach acids come up through your esophagus and be in the back of your throat. It irritates your throat, and your airway will close to protect itself, and then you'll wake yourself up. So another way to improve sleep, in other words, is try not to eat too late. Be thoughtful about eating mints, be thoughtful about alcohol, because all of those things will make that reflux more likely. And so, yeah. And then make sure that you are avoiding anything that will just generally make sleep worse. So I don't know why everybody drinks so much coffee, especially in this country. I mean, we drink a lot of coffee, and I like coffee. I don't think I'm addicted to it, but I like the taste of it. And it's very helpful in the mornings, but after like 3 o'clock, y'all, it is not helpful. It's just going to cause you issues unless you're like working the night shift. And so be very careful with your caffeine intake. That includes in chocolate, because chocolate has caffeine in it a lot of times. Mole has chocolate in it. Be careful with caffeine. It is so pervasive. It is so everywhere in our society that it will disrupt your sleep. There's lots of schools of thoughts about exercise, if you should do it or not. There's lots of schools of thought about watching TV. but I generally tell folks, please don't watch TV, or don't be on your phone, because it's actually making your brain cells fire, and a firing brain does not sleep very well. And so you want to try to give yourself some kind of buffer between the rest of the day and bedtime, like a 30-minute buffer where you don't do nothing, like literally just stop doing stuff, just sit down, sit your butt down somewhere, right? So as my mom would say. And then another thing, especially for you psychologically minded folks, one thing that's also helpful for sleep that's not your normal sleep hygiene is get the thoughts out of your head. Most times, if you're sitting in bed and you're ruminating, like, oh my gosh, this is going to happen, or this is what I'm worried about tomorrow, this is what I'm worried about in 2 weeks or whatever, writing that down and getting it out of your head is can be really powerful. Most times you're worried that you're going to forget something, or that you'll forget something that you need to later ruminate on at another time. So just write it down, and you can worry about all that stuff the next day, but you don't have to do it then. So just put it in a book, a journal, a diary, a piece of paper, your phone notes, just get it out of your head, so that then you can sleep a lot more soundly. And it's really funny. So I'm not a dream interpreter. When people come up to me and they go, "Oh my God, I had this dream. Let me run it by you." I go, "Yeah, I don't know. Don't ask me, because I'm terrible at it. I don't know what it means. I don't know what it means in context." And so, and that's just dreams. When I hear nightmares, people are like, "Oh my God, I had a nightmare. Let me tell you about it." And I'm like, dude, I can't even interpret your dreams, much less your nightmare. So I literally got nothing. And so I'm just going to look at you and let you finish. And if that's therapeutic for you, then great. But I got nothing. I'm not a dream interpreter. But my understanding of how dreams and nightmares work is that it is dreams and nightmares occur when you have unprocessed things that happened earlier in the day. So in other words, if you're stressed out at work, or something's going on, and you take that to bed with you, you're more likely to have a dream. And if it's really stressful, bad stuff, you're more likely to have a nightmare. And so the key to better dreams and less nightmares is get all that stuff out again, onto paper, a journal, therapy, prayer, meditation, before you go to sleep, so that you can sleep a lot more soundly. And like I said, that's in addition to all the other sleep hygiene stuff. So Google sleep hygiene. It'll talk about temperature of room and blah, 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 blah. Do all those things too, because they're not medicine related. And then the last part I'll tell you about sleep is that, yes, there are sleep medicines that you can use. All of them have their side effects. And so make sure you talk to your prescriber, your clinician, before you do those things. Melatonin can be helpful for other folks. They hate it and they feel like it causes them nightmares. So be thoughtful about that. Same thing with magnesium. And there's another one that I'm blanking on, but all of those things come with risks, benefits, and side effects. So make sure to ask. And then all of your teas, so lavenders, chamomile, and sleepy time tea, and all of those things, those can be very, very helpful remedies for sleep concerns. The key is you just kind of be thoughtful about what you're doing, what you're taking in, how you're feeling, and what you're thinking. And if you pay attention to those things, sleep becomes a lot less stressful, because we need more of us to sleep. We are stressed out, especially now, given COVID and pandemic and all the stuff that's been going on the last 3 years. We are sleep deprived, and our cortisol levels are at all-time highs. And so we really need that restorative property, that restorative benefit to sleep. So yes, y'all, get a nap, get some sleep. And I guess that's the last thing I should say about sleep is I'm a big fan of naps. I think the general advice is don't overdo it. So if you're going to take a afternoon nap, somewhere between 20 and 30 minutes is ideal. Anything less than that won't feel refreshing. Anything more than that, you may wake up more tired. And so if I need to take a nap, I make a point to not sleep past 20 minutes in the afternoon. So those are all ways that you can improve your sleep.